The shocking scene unfolded in Los Angeles just hours ago, and the question continues to reverberate across global fan communities. Why were Jungkook and Bang Si-hyuk seen together at an exclusive restaurant? And why was Jin nowhere in sight? This revelation has ignited heated discussions, left ARMY restless, and prompted speculation that refuses to subside. The sighting itself is not the controversy. The absence is. In a moment that should have been merely a casual dinner, the tension surrounding one missing figure transformed it into a matter of worldwide intrigue. Eyewitnesses reported the unmistakable presence of Jungkook, accompanied by Bang Si-hyuk, entering a renowned high-class restaurant in Los Angeles, a place known for its privacy and for catering only to the most elite clientele. The scene might have seemed routine for celebrities of their stature, yet the very fact that only Jungkook was seen and not Jin has shifted the narrative dramatically. Fans are asking the same burning question: why was Jin not there? Why was he excluded? Or did he deliberately avoid this gathering? The answers remain elusive, but the impact is undeniable. The atmosphere within ARMY has turned into a storm of curiosity and frustration. Social platforms are filled with endless threads dissecting every possibility, ranging from professional commitments, personal choices, or even strategic industry moves. Some argue that the absence could be linked to timing, while others believe that something deeper lies beneath the surface. Each theory fuels more confusion, each unanswered question builds further tension, and each silence from official channels pushes the speculation to new extremes. The restaurant itself, located in one of Los Angeles's most exclusive districts, is a venue often associated with private negotiations, confidential meetings, and deliberate publicity plays. That alone intensifies suspicion. If Jungkook and Bang Si-hyuk were seen here, was it purely for dinner, or was there an agenda? And if so, why would Jin not be present at such a critical moment? Could this signal a division, a new phase, or a decision being made behind closed doors? The stakes appear higher than ever, and ARMY is unwilling to let the mystery pass without demanding clarity. Observers point to the symbolism of this sighting. Jungkook, the youngest member, walking alongside Bang Si-hyuk, the powerful figure behind HYB, inevitably draws a narrative of mentorship, opportunity, or exclusive attention. Yet, in contrast, the glaring absence of Jin, who has only recently resumed public activities after his military service, casts a shadow over the image. Is this a coincidence of schedules, or a deliberate separation that suggests a shifting balance within the hierarchy? The tension is impossible to ignore, and fans around the world are holding their breath, waiting for any sign that could explain the silence. The uproar is not merely about curiosity. It is rooted in the emotional bond between ARMY and Jin. For fans who celebrated his return with unparalleled joy, every move carries significance. His presence, or in this case his absence, speaks volumes. Why, after such a long-awaited comeback, would he not be standing side by side with Jungkook at a dinner that now dominates international headlines? The disappointment is palpable, the confusion growing sharper with each passing hour. It is important to understand the cultural weight behind such appearances. In the world of global entertainment, a simple dinner between a leading artist and a company figure can be interpreted as a signal, a move, or even a statement of direction. When one artist is present and another absent, the interpretation becomes a narrative of inclusion versus exclusion. ARMY has understood this dynamic for years, and now they are reading the absence of Jin as more than an empty chair. It is being seen as a message. But what message? That is the haunting question keeping fans awake tonight. The images from the restaurant spread quickly. Blurred but undeniable, Jungkook and Bang Si-hyuk's figures moving discreetly inside a guarded entrance were enough to trigger the storm. For many, The question was not whether the sighting was real, but why it was allowed to be seen. Was this intended as a leak, a calculated hint, or an unavoidable coincidence? And if there is strategy in allowing such an image to circulate, why would Jin be missing from that very picture? The absence becomes louder than presence, and it is that silence that unsettles the most. The intensity of the uproar can be measured by the pace at which the discussion spread. Within minutes, forums, communities, and fan accounts from Seoul to Sao Paulo were locked into one topic. Where is Jin? The repetition of this single question across countless posts illustrates the magnitude of the concern. This is not a minor oversight. This is a global moment of attention directed at one gap in the frame. Even those who usually refrain from speculation cannot resist joining the conversation, adding more weight to the storm that refuses to settle. What makes the situation even more dramatic is the timing. With Jin's recent return to the spotlight and Jungkook's continuous prominence on the international stage, the expectation was that the two would be seen together, not apart. To see Jungkook at a high-profile location with Bang Si-hyuk without Jin creates a contradiction against those expectations. It disrupts the narrative fans have been building, and it leaves a vacuum that speculation rushes to fill. Every vacuum in this industry is dangerous because it allows rumor to masquerade as truth, and ARMY knows it. Some speculate that Jin may have chosen privacy, opting out of a high-profile dinner to avoid unnecessary exposure. Others believe it could point toward internal strategies where members are selectively placed in certain scenarios. Still others whisper about decisions being made about future projects, where not all members are equally present at the negotiating table. No matter the explanation, one fact dominates. The people want answers, and until they come, speculation will rage like fire. The impact of this sighting extends beyond fandom chatter. It underscores the fragile balance of perception in global entertainment. A single absence, a single unanswered question, can create waves of unrest that ripple across continents. For ARMY, the loyalty is unquestionable, but loyalty also demands reassurance. When reassurance is denied, suspicion thrives. Tonight, suspicion is at its peak, and the longer the silence continues, the sharper it cuts. The core issue remains unresolved. Where is Jin? Why was he not there when Jungkook and Bang Si-hyuk were seen together in a location so symbolic, so exclusive, and so visible? This is the question dominating headlines, conversations, and emotions. Every theory is on the table, but none is confirmed, and that void of clarity transforms curiosity into uproar. The night in Los Angeles may have seemed ordinary to outsiders, but for ARMY, it was anything but. Every detail, the choice of restaurant, the timing, the exclusivity, builds a narrative that cannot be ignored. This was not merely dinner. This was an image, a message, a mystery, and above all, a reminder of how every move within this world carries weight. And until Jin himself is seen, the silence remains the loudest sound in the room.